Marketing is such a big topic and it is everywhere and can be a little overwhelming to feel like we have to be all the places, doing all the things. We need all the strategies. Most people listening to this podcast episode are probably doing the marketing and the fulfillment in your business, and it's not easy. But I'm really excited about this episode because I'm going to break it down for you on how we can make it simple and focus on what you actually need to grow. So this is going to be marketing myths debunked, and we are going to take some of the most common misconceptions and false information about marketing and break it down so that you can stay in action and continue to grow your business and reach your goals. I love it. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson. I help creative business owners and artists build communities around your brand so that business is easy and profitable. When you stay in action, yes, I mean even messy action, only good things happen. We are always learning, and when we can get just as excited about the lessons as the results, magic happens. I've helped million-dollar companies with their marketing, but my mission in this world is to help you step into the best possible version of yourself so you can create your dream business too. We believe in community and people over strategies and tactics. Our theme here at the Messy Success Podcast is the 1% adventure, where we're focusing on getting 1% better every single day. I want you to color outside the lines and embrace the messy journey to take daily action towards your goals. If you've noticed a plateau in your business, we've created a very quick quiz where you can find out your next best move. Head over to elizabethhenson.co/next to find out. Now let's get started. All right, I am so excited to debunk some of these marketing myths that are out in the world right now. It is a crazy place out there, you guys. And I just wish for everyone that they could, what's the word I'm looking for? Embody this ability to slow down and like really quiet the noise. And with social media and the way our society is going, it doesn't happen naturally. We have to intentionally slow down, intentionally learn to trust ourselves because there's just so much coming at us. But I do think there's a really beautiful awakening that's happening. So let's go through some of these myths. Number one, the everywhere myth, that you need to be on every social media platform, or at least a lot, in order to grow. We're all guilty of this. But here's the truth. We obviously want to be on platforms where our ideal clients are hanging out. But I think it's more this concept of let's go deep rather than wide. There will be a time and a place to go wide. And I think it's okay to be creative on other platforms. You know, for example, we're on YouTube. I don't spend a lot of time and energy there yet, but we've done enough that I can see that there is absolutely an ROI on my time if I do continue to spend time there. And that's what's really important, is that are we really looking at where we're spending our time and evaluating the return that we're getting? Or are we looking at it like so-and-so is over there, so I need to be over there, right? Remember Periscope? It was like, oh my God, everybody's on Periscope, so I have to be on Periscope. But then I did absolutely nothing with Periscope. You know, it's like really trusting your own intuition and your own ability to choose a platform that you enjoy, because the more you enjoy it, the more you'll show up there, and really go deep rather than wide and focus on helping the people that you can help. And then as you continue to build on your resources and the help on your business, your team, whatever it might be, you can continue to go wider. Number 2 is the numbers game. The myth is that more followers equal more success. I just did an entire training on how I did over $40,000 in sales at my event with such a small audience, quote unquote, right? Like my wait list for the event was only 14 people. My text message list that I was marketing the event to was only, I think, 40 people at the time. I said 14, right, for the wait list. 14 on the wait list, 40 on my SMS list, and then just my normal email list and social media. And I have never in my wildest dreams seen that kind of success from a 1 day thing. 2 days. It was a 2-day event. 3. Okay, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Long story short, with my size audience, those results are pretty wild, right? And I didn't have to have a ton of followers to do that. I don't have a large email list. My Instagram is pretty average. I'm so grateful. This is not coming from a place of I'm so small. That's not what this is. But I realize I do not have the 10K followers that most people have that are doing what I'm doing and seeing the results that I'm getting, right? We don't need more followers to have more success. Again, it's deeper rather than wider. So the truth in that is that this smaller, highly engaged audience that really aligns with your vision is going to be so much more powerful than having thousands of disengaged followers. And I know that's not the first time you've heard it, but let it sink in. Number 3, being perfect before we publish. So many of my students really struggle with this need to be perfect, this need to have a strategy, this need to have it all right. So the myth is that your brand messaging and offers need to be just right before you can put them out to the world. No, it's not true. The truth is staying in action and improving as you go is the secret to growth, right? And I know progress over perfection, that's such a common quote, but I look at it as like staying in action and then tweak as you go. We just published our quiz, and there are so many areas of that quiz that I can continue to nitpick and improve. One of my amazing mastermind partners just sent me a whole paragraph of things to improve. Did I do that before I published? No. I'm like, I'm getting this out there. We'll see how it converts. I know exactly what changes to make. I can make the changes while it's live, right? Now, sure, when we send a marketing email, you get one shot on that one email, but like, let's realistically look at the open rates, the click rates. It is not a big deal if an email flops. In fact, we're just going to learn from it, right? It's so much more important to be doing the thing so that we can collect the data and be learning than it is to get it just right. That's actually going to speed up how fast you get it just right, right? My signature program right now has made over $65,000 with no sales page. No sales page. Just a couple of slides and a checkout page, right? I have really nailed my home run offer. Now I'm going to reverse engineer these quote unquote perfect steps, right? It's going to be so much easier to build the sales page for a program that I know sells really well, right? It's so much easier to create content when I have proof of concept that this is something that people want and need. And I would not have seen that progress if I would have just been sitting back trying to get it all right on the front end. So when we really focus on the why, the how will reveal itself as we go. So really staying in action. You're going to find that to be the underlying theme of this episode, is that I want to debunk these myths because all I want for you is to stay in action. Okay, number 4, content overload, right? That more content is better content. Now, I know social media is changing and I'm seeing a lot of my friends that are posting 2 to 3 times a day, but I really don't want you to believe that you have to do that too. It's not about how much you post, but it's the value and the authenticity behind it. Sharing what aligns with your message and what your audience needs to hear. If you want to see a good example of someone who kind of drops the ball on social media, go look at mine. Go say hi on Instagram at Elizabeth.Henson. And my social media is not a beautiful example of what works, right? Because I don't get a ton of engagement, likes, and comments. And every now and then I really hit a home run. But for the most part, my content just gets views, right? But I really trust the process. And I think about how many times a day do I see something on social media that resonated with me, that I enjoyed, but I don't take the time to comment or to really engage with it. But I have that moment of, ooh, I'm glad I saw that. Or I send it to a friend. So the likes and comments are not a good measurement of whether our content is landing. Okay. So it's not about how much we post. It's really about the why and staying in a really authentic and aligned place. All right, number 5, one of my favorites, the how trap. The myth here is that you need to know exactly how you're going to achieve your goals before you start. Here's the truth. What I just said about when we stay connected to our why, the how will reveal itself. That momentum, that action brings the clarity. So all we need is to be laser focused on that desired outcome and trust that as we continue to take action, we know what to do next. Take an action, we know what to do next. Take an action, we know what to do next. That's how you build your strategy. And then you look back and you say, okay, what actions worked? Repeat or disregard? Repeat or disregard? But we don't need to have it all figured out. So many of my students get really stuck in the how. But how? I need a strategy. But how? And I'm like, all you need to know is where you're going and what you're doing next. Crazy, I know. Sit with it for a minute. Practice it. Just practice it. All right, number 6 is the overnight success stories, right? This myth that successful brands grew overnight because they followed a formula. Ooh, man, if Business by Design is a beautiful example of this. You guys that have been here for a while, you know I'm a coach inside a program called Business by Design. And we have so many students who get so frustrated because they are not seeing results fast enough. When in reality, a lot of online businesses take about 5 years to be really healthy and profitable. Everyone can make a little bit of money here and there, but to be really healthy and profitable, it takes a while. So I don't know where this belief comes from that it's going to happen fast, right? Now, it can happen faster. If you work with me, you're going to see goals, you're going to hit milestones a lot faster than you would by yourself. But that doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight, right? Success comes from that consistent action, experimenting, and staying aligned with those long-term mission and values. See the underlying theme here? Consistent action. This is how we can simplify our marketing. And at the end, I'm going to give you a good tip on how to go ahead and build out your strategy in 30 minutes. So stick around. We're almost there. But that consistent action. And we talked about the word consistent in the last episode. So don't put too much weight on that word, right? Micro actions. Whatever you can give is enough. And then number 7, FOMO, everyone's doing it syndrome. So the myth here is if other businesses in your industry are doing it, like TikTok or Reels, that you should too. Here's the truth. Just because it works for them doesn't mean it's right for you. Stay true to your strengths and what you love doing, and then your audience will connect so much more naturally. If you don't want to sing and dance, don't sing and dance, right? Sure, I want you to get outside your comfort zone here and there, but when you're helping people and you're living in your superpowers and your zone of genius, trust that. Right? There are places in business for you to be expansive. But when it comes to what you're doing on a regular basis, you want to really flex those muscles of your zone of genius. So good. So this is also one of my pet peeves when it comes to coaches, is the coaches that just say, well, this is how I did it. Go do it and it will work, right? Sure, there's some proven processes, but just because it works for someone doesn't mean it's right for you. And it might even work for you, but you might do it and then you realize you're completely unhappy. I took advice from people for way too long, and just to lead myself down all these paths that, sure, they were working, I was profitable, but I wasn't happy. And you want both. You want to be profitable and happy. Number 8, this is a good one, that paid ads are the only way to scale. The myth is that you need to run ads to grow quickly. The truth here is that the organic growth through relationships, storytelling, and authentic connections can be just as powerful, if not more, and sustainable as ads. And here's my thought on ads. Or here's what I wish I had known. I started my digital CEO journey with a lot of low ticket offers. And once you understand your numbers, you realize you can predict how long it's going to take you to hit a goal, because you kind of know your numbers and you know how many people need to see an offer to get a result. And with low ticket offers, I was never going to hit my revenue goals. So focusing on higher ticket offers allowed me to market to my audience only and hit my revenue goals faster. And honestly, I'm way happier serving people in this higher ticket way than I was trying to just push a course out. Isn't that so interesting? And we will eventually use ads, because once you really understand your organic marketing and you see what works, it's a beautiful time to do ads. But we don't need to rely on ads for growth. You can grow with exactly what you have right now. And the sooner you believe that, the sooner you'll get really excited about taking that action. Number 9, that success looks only one way. So the myth here is that to be successful, your business needs to look like someone else's, a big team, constant launches, fancy funnels, evergreen, whatever it is that you're kind of idolizing. Your business can look however you want. And in fact, I believe that we become successful faster when we build a business around the life that we want. When I looked at how do I want to show up for my people? Okay, I want to get on at least 2 calls a month, but not more than 4. I want to be able to voice message with them. I love that. That's one of my favorite ways to hang out with people. And I don't really want to just send them to modules. I want to really give them that high touch value. And I really only want to work from like 9 to 2. So I built my signature program around exactly the life that I wanted it to fit in. No more of this, oh, well, if I offer calls at night, more people will join. No. I don't offer calls at night. And if that's the one thing that's going to swing you from joining my program, then I'll see you when it's a better fit. And it feels so good, and everything sells so much better when we are so excited to do it because it fits so perfectly into our dream result. If I was going to offer a bunch of strategy calls in the evening, I wouldn't be excited to execute them. So why would I be excited to sell them? Does that make sense? You build it exactly the way you want it to be, you get way more excited to take that action. So define what that perfect day, what that success means for you. And growth that feels good is way more sustainable than growth that fits an assumption of what you think people want and need or what someone else is doing. All right, the last one here, the strategy paradox. The myth is that the strategy is all about following a strict plan to see results, or a specific plan. And here's the truth. Strategies should be flexible and aligned with your high vibrational frequency. When you're energetically in the right place, you'll intuitively know what actions to take. Ooh, man, if that one doesn't hit home for me. I have learned my 2 things that I have to do on a daily basis. This is how simple. 2 things. I need to do what I need to do, my toolbox to keep my vibrational frequency high. I have a whole episode on my routine in a box. It's like my whole set of tools that I use to keep my vibrational frequency high. We can link that in the show notes. It's basically a morning routine that I don't necessarily do first thing in the morning, although right now I'm in a really beautiful routine. I'll tell you about it in a second. And the second one is to take action, right? That action can be planned in advance, or it might be what needs my attention today. But that's it. I wake up every morning and I do what I need to do to keep my vibrational frequency high. And believe it or not, what that is slowing down. My kids leave around 8. I take my dog for a walk. I come to my little journaling area in my office. I do not look at my screen. I do not open my computer until I've spent about 30 minutes with my journals, my routine in a box, a little bit of quiet and meditation, and my to-do list reveals itself so clearly. And some things I already know I'm doing. They're already in my calendar. I already knew I was going to record this podcast episode today, so I didn't need to sit down and think about whether that was going to happen. I did sit down and think about what's on my heart that I want to talk about. What do my students need to hear from me today? But I didn't have to think about what action I was going to take. So let's talk about that. Marketing plans are really top of mind right now because I've been helping some of my students, and I'm really excited to just break it down for them in this way. A marketing strategy. We put so much importance on that phrase, a marketing strategy. But really, let's just think about, when it comes to marketing, what do you want to do daily, weekly, and monthly? If you can set a timer for 30 minutes and just brain dump, what do you do daily? What do you do weekly? And what do you do monthly? That is the bones to your marketing strategy. Okay? So weekly, I record a podcast episode. Daily, not even daily, 3 to 5 times a week, I post on social media. Pretty close to it. Okay? Monthly, I am having a campaign or a revenue generating activity, right? So I need to look at that on a monthly basis of what weeks are we focusing on certain promotions. But daily, weekly, it's very simple. So this big marketing plan that we're making to be this big thing is really just your calendar. So you can even go further into quarterly, yearly. So yearly, what's your revenue goal? Let's work backwards, making sure that our offers match that revenue goal. I help my students with this all the time. And then breaking that into quarterly, monthly, right? It's not rocket science, and we make it out to be. And we put off taking action because we think we need the strategy. So sure, if you need the strategy, spend 30 minutes, turn that into a checklist or your marketing SOP, and get to work. But if you can keep your vibrational frequency high, and I have a whole episode on what that means as well, you will take the actions that are going to move you forward. Now, when that vibrational frequency drops and you're in the game of the victim, it's somebody else's fault, it's too hard, it takes too much time, I don't have enough time. All of those are low vibrational questions and low vibrational ways of thinking. So you're not going to take either the right action or you're not going to take action at all. So that's why the first and foremost simple hack to business is to keep that vibrational frequency high. And then the second is to take the action every single day. And you know I love messy action because messy action is better than no action. But go ahead and make that marketing plan. But don't spend more than 30 minutes doing it because it's not the thing that's going to elevate your business. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you loved this and it was helpful and you're interested in working with me, you can join the waitlist for Elevate at elizabethhenson.co/waitlist. I hope you'll go take our assessment, elizabethhenson.co/next. And we'll put the vibrational episode into the show notes, as well as the routine in a box episode into the show notes, because they all fit very nicely into things that I referenced in here. And I hope I debunked a few business and marketing myths for you and made it feel very simple that you can operate from your highest good every day and move the needle. And it's okay when we slip and we fall. It's okay. It's what are we going to make that mean, right? Oh, shoot, I haven't worked out yet this week and it's Thursday. Am I frustrated about that? Sure. But I'm not going to make it mean that I've fallen off the wagon, that I'm going to get out of shape, that I'm not making it mean anything. It just is. So thank you guys for listening today. I appreciate you. It is always such a treasure and a pleasure to be here with you. If this episode was helpful, leave us a review, come say hi on the gram, or share it with a friend. And I will see you next time.